Roger Clemens is getting ready to go to take on the Boston Red Sox. It has become tradition. From his forehead to the forehead of Babe Ruth on that monument out at Monument Park. And Clemens, who so far is 2-0 in this postseason, coming off a 17-9 regular season, will take on this lineup. Johnny Damon leading off, then Todd Walker batting second. Nomar Garciaparra broke through yesterday. He's hitting third. Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, the DH. Kevin Millar at first, Trot Nixon in right, Bill Miller at third, and Jason Varitek homered yesterday. He has hit 4 in this postseason. 41 years old, the Rocket, Roger Clemens.
And the question in everybody's mind, is this it? Is this his last appearance? How fitting from Boston to New York City, with a stop in between at Toronto. Remarkable career, winning 300 games this year. His 300th this year.
Damon retired on a routine ground out. Here's Todd Walker. Nomar Garciaparra waits to hit next. Three and 0 on Walker. Good rip by Walker. Walker is a .400 career hitter against Roger Clemens. That ball's down the line and foul. Walker started, stopped, didn't know whether to run or not. And he'll be back to the plate with a 3-2 count.
May have to get a new bat. Jammed on this pitch. After that Cup Series against the Marlins, foul balls of that type will never be looked at the same again.
good at bat by Todd Walker.
May have been ball 4, but he stays alive.
Into right center field for a hit. Bernie Williams cuts it off, makes a good play, and Walker is on with 1 out in the first inning for Boston. A 10-pitch at bat for Todd Walker.
When Roger Clemens' fastball is down, he is easier to hit than when his fastball is up. Another rope by Walker.
Garciaparra now. The combination of Millar, Miller, and Garciaparra 7 for 55 in this series coming into yesterday's Game 6. The trio combined for 9 hits. Garciaparra had 4 of them. Into right center field off the end of the bat. Garcia makes the catch and Walker tags and advances. Good base running. Runner at second, 2 out.
Outstanding base running by Todd Walker. This is deep enough, Walker says, to tag up on. He read the height of the ball, realizing that Garcia had to turn, pivot, and make the throw. Very, very alert base running by Walker.
RBI chance for New York native Manny Ramirez.
One thing I see with Roger is I don't think he's thrown a pitch under 94 yet, and these aren't all four-seam fastballs. He's cutting the ball. And to have that kind of velocity with cut on it, you know, his arm's feeling pretty good tonight.
The cut fastball Brett Boone was talking about right here evens the count.
Two balls and a strike. Manny Ramirez has struggled in his career against Roger Clemens.
You can almost see that ball sailing on Ramirez. There he went cutter for a ball, cutter for a strike, sinker for a ball, cutter for a foul ball.
Pedro Martinez, when he steps to the mound, will be on that Yankee Stadium mound for the first time in his career in the postseason. Clemens is through the first. It's Pedro's turn. Pedro Martinez 1-1 in the postseason this year with the Red Sox. Will take on this lineup: Soriano, Johnson, and Jeter. Different look. Nick Johnson batting second. Where's Giambi if Jeter's hitting third? He's batting seventh as the DH. First time he's done that for Joe Torre. Enrique Wilson, who has handled Pedro Martinez, batting eighth. Kareem Garcia ninth. And here's Pedro Martinez.
Right there, for you folks at home, if you're a Red Sox fan, that's what you're interested in, how hard he's throwing.
One away.
Fastball off the plate, gets Soriano. The first statement of a scouting report could be posed as a question. Does his arm hurt? He says no. Unusual amount of curveballs, however, on Saturday. And for Game 7, who else would you want?
Nick Johnson now batting in the number 2 spot, where Jeter usually hits for the Yankees.
I think you can look at how hard he's throwing and maybe say his arm isn't feeling good if he's hitting 88, 89. But I think as a hitter, you've got to make him prove to you that he's willing to throw that fastball even if he doesn't have his best one. If he can locate at 88, you got to know that he will throw it at any time, so you can't just sit on the off speed.
Three balls and a strike with Jeter on deck. One on, one out. Jeter coming up, and we have yet to see anything resembling a good fastball from Pedro Martinez.
He is under the fastball. He's yet to break 90. Of course, the curveballs that he threw to Soriano, they're going to be around 70. But he struck him out on an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. Pedro was on the disabled list with a sore labrum right under the shoulder from May 25th to June 11th.
Strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Off the hands, Millar at first and foul ground, 2 out. And with a runner at first, 2 out, Bernie Williams will be the hitter.
Watch how this fastball tails in on the hands of Derek Jeter.
At times, Tim, you've talked about the anatomy of an out, so to speak, and the different characteristics from a pitcher. And velocity is not always number 1 on the list. Location, movement, and it looks like Pedro Martinez will have to rely on location and movement here tonight.
Certainly movement to Jeter.
Opposite way, base hit. 2 on, 2 out. So a scoring opportunity for the Yankees in the first, and Hideki Matsui moved up in the order to the number 5 spot. Digs his way in. Strike 1. The first pitch at 90 miles per hour from Pedro Martinez. I would imagine Giambi was shocked to get to the ballpark and find his name on that lineup in the number 7 spot. Two balls and a strike. 91 from Pedro Martinez. On the outside part, 2-2. Go inside, outside. That's only ball 3. Hideki Matsui. It's 3-2.
Hideki lost the count. That was a key pitch as Veritek out to talk to Martinez. Now the runners will be off. 3-2, 2 out.
Johnny Damon is coming on. Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez, each with a scoreless first. We go to the second inning, game 7. Winner goes to the World Series, no score. Roger Clemens in the first inning got around a 1-out hit. And now he takes on the middle part of this relentless Boston Red Sox lineup and starts David Ortiz with a strike. Ortiz the DH, then Kevin Millar at first and Trot Nixon in right. Into center field on a line. Bernie Williams makes a tough play, hit right at him. 1 out, and Millar coming up.
Right on the button, but to Bernie Williams.
Little snow cone action at the end. Our Sprint Virtual Manager question is, who matches up better with the Marlins? In your opinion, the Yankees or the Red Sox? A for Yankees, B for Red Sox. To answer the question, use your PCS Vision phone from Sprint or log on to foxsports.com, keyword MLB on Fox. Kevin Millar fouls the first pitch back, strike 1. Millar a couple of hits in yesterday's 9-run, 16-hit attack that the Red Sox came up with, finally breaking through offensively to win Game 6. One ball, one strike.
I wonder how the Marlins would vote. The Marlins watching this game from Chicago.
Well, there are no restrictions. I mean, if they want to log in their PCS Vision phones from the airport, Terminal D, wherever they're watching in Chicago, they can feel free.
Speaking from a player, I don't think the Marlins really care.
Into right center field, tailing away from Williams. That ball will get down, and on a hop, Bernie Williams on another good play holds Millar to a single. 1 on, 1 out. Trot Nixon is coming up. All right, the Marlins don't care. That we know. Brett Boone has told us that. Tim, what do you think? Who matches up better? The Red Sox or the Yankees against the Marlins? And you can say it doesn't matter too. That's okay.
I don't think the Marlins care. I mean, after last night, I don't think they care one way or the other. I agree with Brett.
Okay, let me be the one to say.
All right.
It really doesn't matter.
But put your vote in.
I think when you look at that Marlins team, the reason why it doesn't matter if that is the case is because the Marlins will roll into the World Series on Saturday night, either here in New York or in Boston. Please turn your phone off, Tim.
I will.
With so much confidence. They've got hitting up and down their lineup. They've got a starting rotation that's going to go in a little backward after the way things finished up at Wrigley Field, having to use Beckett in relief, and was he terrific last night.
Unbelievable.
They've got a bullpen with 2 guys who can close games. They've got speed. They hit for average. So maybe that is the answer, because I think they match up well against either one of these 2 teams.
Speed's the key. Speed is the key that the Marlins have that neither of these 2 teams have. And the catchers in the World Series, be it Veritek or Posada, are going to have a lot of heat, and so are the pitchers trying to hold the runners close.
Nixon into right center field. Did he get enough? Yes, he did. The Red Sox strike first. Trot Nixon, a home run to right center field. It's 2-0 Boston in the second. Nixon hits his 4th career home run off Roger Clemens. None bigger than that last swipe here in the second inning of Game 7.
That looked like a splitter that stayed up in the strike zone, about belt high outside part of the plate. Either a splitter or a tailing fastball. Another look. Posada sits outside. I think it was a splitter. Either a splitter or a 2-seam fastball.
Miller now with 1 out takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Nixon went deep last night in the top of the 9th inning to give the Red Sox a 2-run add-on with their 1-run 8th inning lead. They added the 2 in the 9th and won it 9-6. We go back to the home run.
That's a two-seam fastball.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Miller strikes out. 2 out.
Splitter diving out of the strike zone.
Well, it's interesting. First inning, Roger came out. He was cutting the fastball a little bit. This inning, he's pretty much gone with the two-seam, the sinker, maybe to give him another look.
I think he throws that to left-handers to try to get the ground ball, a double play situation. The Trot Nixon lifted it out of the ballpark.
With the bases empty, 2 out, here's Veritek. And he rips one into right field. That ball will take 1 hop and hit the wall. Veritek is going to test Garcia and make it easily into second on the high throw out of right.
Often the number of outs determine whether to take the extra base or not. There are 2 outs, even though the ball's hit sharply and Garcia comes up with it quickly. Veritek testing his arm properly, and he overthrows Jeter.
Now it's Johnny Damon with an RBI chance. This packed house trying to rally behind Roger Clemens. We said it at the top, and I'm sure we'll say it again. This could be the final time that Roger Clemens is on a major league mound. He said he will walk away at the end of this season. .310 career victories, number 3 on the all-time strikeout list with 4,099. His 0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike on Damon. For Clemens, his 24th postseason start. He's 8-6 and 2-0 this year. But it all falls to this, a Game 7 here in the ALCS. Laying off that pitch is Damon. It's 2-1. The 6-time Cy Young Award winner is ready. His 2-1 pitch to the left side for Enrique Wilson. His throw sails into the seats, and that'll bring Veritek to the plate to make it 3-0. Wilson in the lineup for his bat against Pedro Martinez. Boone is sitting out, and Wilson throws it into the photographer's section behind first base for an error and a 3-0 Red Sox lead.
Usually if you drop your arm when you're throwing, the ball will tail into the runner, as Wilson's did then. He has the type of motion, the throwing motion, where the ball tails. Certainly not the arm that Aaron Boone has. So another run by the Red Sox.
And now red-hot Todd Walker steps in. He takes a ball, a 10-pitch at bat, his first time up for Walker, and he singled into right field at the end of it. Now it's Damon at second, 2 out. In what is a 3-run second inning for Boston. 1 ball, 1 strike. The last time the Boston Red Sox were in a Game 7 in an ALCS was 1986, and they won that game over the California Angels behind Roger Clemens. to the right side. Nick Johnson stays down on it, and the inning is over. But not before the Boston Red Sox come up with 3 runs. 2 earned, 1 unearned. Nixon goes deep. Boston strikes first. Pedro Martinez has a 3-0 lead. A swing and a miss for strike 1. Orville Redenbacher's popcorn start popping today. A swinging strike on Jorge Posada, and we're underway in the bottom of the second. It'll be Posada, Giambi hitting 7th, and Enrique Wilson. That misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. We did see a flash of that good Pedro Martinez velocity on that final pitch to Matsui with 2 on, 2 out in a long first inning. Popped up into left center field for Johnny Damon. 1 out.
Well, it was the only time in the inning that Martinez hit 93 with the fastball. And that was the final pitch of the inning.
Well, I think we can get too wrapped up in velocity. I mean, if Pedro's hitting his spots, whether it's 89, of course, it would be nice for him to have his 95 and hitting his spots, but he can do it with the velocity he's got right now. I think you notice he's throwing more fastballs in the first 2 innings than he probably threw the whole last game.
That was Saturday afternoon at Fenway Park as he misses inside, ball 1 to Giambi.
And that was a day he didn't get wrapped up in velocity, and he lost because he was throwing too many curveballs and too many changeups.
The 1-0.
But the one thing Pedro is smart and knows how to pitch.
No question about that.
He can't come back out here and throw all breaking balls. This Yankee hitters are too good, and you can't get a team to know what you're going to throw, and they'll just sit on the breaking ball all night.
The 2-0 pitch. 3 balls, no strikes. A 2-0 changeup that missed with Enrique Wilson up next. Giambi moved to the number 7 spot. Takes a strike. So far in this series, 8 out of 37 in the postseason. 1 home run. And that came yesterday. The 3-1 on the inside corner, 3-2. As a member of the Oakland A's, the last time Giambi hit this low in the order. A high fastball, and there's 93 miles an hour again. And if the Red Sox have proven one thing, the way to get Giambi out in this postseason, high heat, and Pedro Martinez gets it by his bat.
After falling behind 3-0, a fastball, and a high fastball. Giambi's woes continue.
Enrique Wilson, 7 of 8 against Pedro Martinez this season, 10 out of 20 in his career, leading into that Game 3 start when he went 0 for 4. This one down the right side, out of play for strike 1. Already Enrique Wilson has made his presence felt with a throwing error that led directly to a run. And his reaction in the dugout after making the miscue. The opposite way, slicing down the line, and it's caught. Nice running catch by Manny Ramirez. Closed and covered a ton of ground. We go to the 3rd inning here in Game 7. Boston on top 3-0. Heart of the order for the Red Sox here in the 3rd inning. Garciaparra, then Ramirez, then Ortiz. A lot of people were screaming for the Red Sox and Grady Little to move Garciaparra out of that number 3 spot. He stayed with him. He stays with him now after yesterday out of that number 3 spot. Nomar had a 4 for 5 day, made up for an error in the field. On the other side, you see Joe Torre, who comes into this game. He moves his lineup all around. Talks about rearranging the furniture. He has moved that big credenza, Jason Giambi, into the number 7 spot. He's got Nick Johnson batting second, Jeter in the number 3 position, and Enrique Wilson in there, while the Red Sox are going with their typical look. It's 3-0 on Garciaparra. 3-1. Three and two. And this crowd tries to climb back into this game, stunned by a 3-run second inning put up by Boston. It was a 3-0 count, and Roger Clemens comes back to get Garciaparra. Manny Ramirez grew up in nearby Washington Heights. And a look back at a young Manny Ramirez, regarded by many as one of the greatest hitters to come out of this city. And he is back playing for the Red Sox, trying to get past the New York Yankees to get to the 2003 World Series. With one out, nobody on, a ball inside from Clemens. At George Washington High in 1991, 22 games, batting average of .615. Back and out of play, joining us for tonight's game is Kenny Albert. Kenny?
Joe, you mentioned Manny Ramirez grew up in Washington Heights, the site of a massive water main break this afternoon, which caused major traffic problems. Manny was asked before the game if any of his friends or family were affected. He said no, they all moved to Miami.
1 ball, 1 strike. And he may get to see friends and family in Miami in the World Series if the Red Sox can hang on and defeat the New York Yankees as the count goes to 1-2. Into right center field. Kareem Garcia to his right as it tails back to him, 2 out.
That was that cut fastball, something to which Brett referred earlier. And what it will do, it will cut off the fat part of the bat. That's how it tails out, and Ramirez hits it right on the end of the bat. And didn't get enough of it to drive it out to right field. That's a deception in that cutter. You think you're going to center it, and at the last minute, it'll sail on you about 3 inches.
Now it's Ortiz. Big DH. It's a 2-hopper to Nick Johnson. This game goes to the bottom of the 3rd. It'll be Garcia, Soriano, and Nick Johnson coming up. Red Sox leading game 7, 3-0. Pedro Martinez back to work. It's 3-0. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Dealing with Kareem Garcia. Remember, Garcia was the one that was hit. Back of his shoulder. In the 2nd and 3rd situation in that 4th inning back at Fenway Park on Saturday by Pedro Martinez. A 1-0 pitch. Another pop-up. We've seen a few of those. That's into left center field. And it's Johnny Damon for out number 1. If you've been living under a boulder for the last week, this is what started the mess. This pitch up the direction of the head, which any hitter takes exception to, and Garciaparra was stunned that that happened in that situation. 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out at the time. That loaded the bases, and Pedro Martinez gave up what were the difference runs in the game in that 4th inning. Soriano was a part of it as he stands in with 1 out here. Soriano struck out his first time up and takes a strike on the outside corner.
With all of that swirling around, all of that psychological baggage, I think Martinez's shrewdest pitch so far tonight was the second pitch to Nick Johnson. He knocked him back off the plate as if to tell the Yankees, listen, just because we had that brouhaha the other night, don't think I won't come inside on you. I hear that term all the time, sending a message. That was a message.
And really, I think talking to you, Tim, and you, Brett, that was a concern coming in. And Brett, you weren't one who thought that that inside pitch was going to be taken away from Pedro Martinez.
I think you still got to allow these guys to go out and pitch their game. And that pitch right there, that wasn't close. That's part of the game. That's not up around the head.
A 1-2 pitch. 93, but out of the strike zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Joe Torre talking before the game about a possible warning before this game started by Major League Baseball, by the umpires. And he said, I don't think there will be one, and it would be a shame if there were a warning from baseball. Is that breaking ball? And it's important to say breaking ball stays up and in. It's a 3-2 count now on Soriano.
Everybody ooh and eyeing here at Yankee Stadium, at least all Yankee fans. That's just a curveball that backed up.
One out, the base is empty. 3-2 on Soriano with Nick Johnson on deck. Fastball to get Soriano, 2 out. Strikeout number 3 on the night for Pedro Martinez. Play Hit the Pros presented by Chevy Silverado. Face real pitches from today's best hurlers. Log on to foxsports.com. Keyword games, Chevy Silverado, it's the right truck. 3 strikeouts for Martinez, 2 out, nobody on for Nick Johnson. That's inside for ball 1. Kenny Albert, you met with the officials before this game. Any word about a pregame warning?
Well, Joe, I spoke with Steve Palermo, supervisor of umpires, and he told me that no club personnel, not the managers, not the pitchers, were talked to by the umpires before the game. Steve emphasized Major League Baseball and Commissioner Bud Selig will not tolerate any of the extracurricular stuff that went on during Game 3, but they were not spoken to before the game.
That's into right center and easy for Johnny Damon to his left. Another pop-up, another one for Damon. Pedro Martinez has settled into a groove. We slip into the 4th inning. Game 7, Boston and New York, 3-0 Red Sox. And by Subway, good so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh. Millar hits one to left field. That ball back into the corner, up and out. Home run Millar. It's 4-0 Boston as Millar gets his first of the postseason. And the Red Sox and their fans have to be thinking, finally. Yesterday this offense bust through. And tonight against Roger Clemens, they picked up where they left off in Game 6.
Millar, very smart hitter. It appeared that he went up and said, I'm going to get a fastball. I'm going to try to jerk it. Take one shot to yank.
Now it's Trot Nixon, the number 7 hitter, who hit a 2-run home run his first time up.
That was a fastball down the middle of the plate, right below the letters.
A strike to Nixon.
You could see Posada pound that mitt in anger behind the plate.
ALCS record 11 home runs by the Red Sox. The top hitting team in baseball this season, and they're finally showing it here at the end of the League Championship Series. Mike Messina is getting ready for the Yankees in their bullpen. He said he'd be good for at least an inning or two. Everybody for the Yankees except for Andy Pettitte available. And for the Red Sox, outside of Burkett, everybody, maybe including Derek Lowe, available for Grady Little and the Boston Red Sox. Here's a 2-2 to Nixon. Check the swing, full count. Low for ball 4. First walk of the night. Roger Clemens has said he will walk away at the end of this season after putting up 17 victories during the regular year. He's 2-0 in the postseason until this. You want to talk about retirement? We asked Roger Clemens about walking away.
They got the #1 reason why you should retire, and it's when the time when I knew it was time to retire is when the chance went from Rocket sucks to Dad sucks, Dad sucks. Then you knew it was time to go. So we haven't gotten there yet. You know, my boys are wanting to get in the batter's box against me a little more often now and take some cuts. So we're getting a little closer, but we're not just there yet.
And there is no doubt that this is totally family driven. I mean, it has nothing to do with performances. You see a guy who tonight is struggling, allowing 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 home runs. But he is still a dominant type right-hander, and it's just the call of his family wanting him to get back home in the Houston, Texas area that is making him want to quit this game.
I think that, and you know, he's played this game for so long. He's been so successful. I think it's the family plays a big part, but I think it's the off season, the daily coming to the ballpark and what it takes to get on that field every day. That, after a while, mentally will get you.
1 on, nobody out, and a ball is a little bit low to Bill Miller. Miller struck out his first time. That's the only Clemens strikeout tonight. The visit by Stottlemyre was as much to talk about Clemens and what he's trying to do as it was to buy time from Messina to get ready. Miller slapping at it. 1 ball, 1 strike. If you want to look at how these two teams end up in a Game 7 within this series, one area where you can point would be the bullpen. The bullpen for the Boston Red Sox has pulled it together in this postseason. And it's a big reason why this Red Sox team is in a position, if they win here tonight, to go to the World Series. Something that was an Achilles heel all year long. And for the Yankees, outside of Mariano Rivera, there are question marks throughout that bullpen. And yesterday, it became very apparent that if you don't have Rivera in the game in the late innings, Joe Torre is picking guys and hoping. And yesterday, the bullpen gave it up. Runner goes, hit and run. It works perfectly for the Red Sox. Nixon will go to third. The Red Sox doing everything right so far tonight. Have first and third and nobody out.
Grady Little doesn't do it often, and it looks beautiful. One of the prettiest plays to see from high home when the wrong guy covers. The right guy if you're the Red Sox. Jeter moving over. Miller finding the vacated hole.
Starting runners is something that early in this series didn't work at all for the Boston Red Sox. Here comes Joe Torre, and that is it for Roger Clemens. He is knocked out here in the 4th inning. And potentially could be the last time he exits a major league field. For the first time in his big league career, Mike Mussina is coming out of the bullpen. That's what's happened this postseason. An 0-3 record. He's lost twice in this ALCS. And he will try to stop this inning right here. It's 4-0 Boston, a chance for more. First and third and nobody out with the number 9 hitter Jason Varitek at the plate. Mussina was last on the mound Game 4 on Monday. He started and lost Game 1 on October 8th. And here he is in Game 7. Varitek. First pitch hacking, strike 1.
I think the reason that Joe Torre chose Mike Mussina is the best pitcher in the bullpen in middle relief to get a ground ball. And that's what the Yankees are hopeful of right here. Middle infielders are in double play depth.
Nothing in 2 from Mussina to Varitek. Big strikeout by the Yankee right-hander. 1 away.
Derek Jeter, the captain of the Yankees, in to talk to Mussina now. This is a knuckle curve, tightly wrapped. You may see the Yankees pull their infield in now, because Johnny Damon's very tough to double. Play for the play at the plate.
The lead runner is Nixon at third. The trail runner is Miller, who just picked up his 6th hit of this ALCS, and here's Damon, who's 0 for 2.
Yep, the Yankee middle infielders are still back, double play depth.
Damon takes a strike. Mussina was quoted as saying, "All I can control," after pitching well in Game 4 but losing, "all I can control is 60 feet 6 inches." That rubbed some people the wrong way, as if he were throwing blame on the offense for not coming up with more to support him. Right now, all he is thinking about, 60 feet 6 inches to try to keep it 4-0 here in the 4th inning. Damon takes strike 2.
See that look on Damon's face? Probably looking for that knuckle curve, and he got the fastball.
To the shortstop, Jeter. Steps and fires. Mike Mussina may have just kept the Yankees in this game. Four nothing after 3.5. Pedro Martinez has a 4-run 4th inning lead. So far, Pedro Martinez has been outstanding. He's allowed no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 3. And Jeter is first up. Pedro Martinez has never pitched in a Game 7 as he misses outside ball 1. That stays fair, and Miller a long throw. One away. In walks Bernie Williams, and we have not seen the Yankees hit anything crisp so far here tonight against Pedro Martinez.
Even the base hit by Bernie Williams was off the bat, off the end of the bat, trickled through the left side, the left field. Red Sox, meanwhile, have centered quite a few off Roger Clemens, none off Messina, of course.
With one out, Bernie Williams takes a strike. We have not seen overpowering pitching from Pedro Martinez so far, but we have seen excellent pitching and work from Pedro Martinez. Mixing it up, moving the ball around, keeping these Yankee hitters off balance as he misses inside with ball one. Has location on both sides of the plate. Pitch count at 45 here in the fourth inning. Missed his spot there as Varitek set up outside. It's 2-1.
That just shows you even a master like Pedro Martinez can miss by 1.5 feet. Varitek was outside. The pitch was in off the plate inside. It's a myth to think that pitchers get them everywhere they want them all the time.
Williams checked it. It's 3-1. Bernie Williams trying to reach for the second time tonight. On the inside corner, it's a full count.
There is no way you can guess successfully with Pedro Martinez.
Smashed with foul.
He throws change-ups and fastball counts, fastballs and curveball counts, curveballs and fastball counts. There's no regular routine about his pitching pattern.
Another foul.
I mean, I think he's exclusively going with that fastball for the most part. I think if you see later in the game, if he gets into any trouble, you might see him pitch a little different when he gets some runners out there in scoring position. But right now, it's working for him.
Another 3-2 pitch. Another strikeout for Martinez. 4 on the night. Tim, I know you were awfully anxious to see how Pedro Martinez would respond here in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium after what transpired in Game 3 on Saturday in Boston. To his credit, he has seemed to be able to put everything aside, go out, do his thing. He's focused. He's in control. And even with what happened on the field, between the white lines and outside the white lines in Game 3, he has been remarkable so far tonight.
He's been able to do that throughout his career, to shut down all outside distractions, and he's never had more distractions than he had coming into this game.
That ball is hammered to center and out of the reach of Johnny Damon. It's a 2-out double for Hideki Matsui, the Yankees' first extra base hit.
Fastball hit hard here. Over the head of Johnny Damon. And the Yankees have a 2-out base runner.
Now it's Posada. 4-0 Red Sox, bottom of the fourth, game 7. Hard hit, but Millar down on a knee, gets it to the bag, and the inning is over. The Yankees strand their third of the night. We go to the 5th. 4-0 Red Sox. Back after this from your local Fox station. Todd Walker first up for Boston here in the 5th. He's the number 2 hitter, and he pops it into left. Hideki Matsui makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out. Walker now 1 out of 3, and Nomar Garciaparra with his fiancee Mia Hamm in the crowd at Yankee Stadium tonight. Nomar walks in. Mia was here yesterday. Red Sox 1-9-6. And there's Mia in the middle with Garciaparra tonight 0 for 2. And longtime Yankee fan Billy Crystal always here when there's October baseball in New York. And with 1 out, nobody on, Garciaparra lines one into left field for a base hit. Matsui makes a play on 1 hop, and Garciaparra is 1 for 3. So Garciaparra is aboard, and Manny Ramirez walks to the plate.
The minute Mia Hamm is shown, Garciaparra responds with a double to left.
It's bound to work.
Got to.
It's got to work.
Got to.
1 on, 1 out for Ramirez. Manny's flat out to right both times up tonight. Messina kept the Yankees in the game last inning by entering with 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Varitek struck out. Damon bounced into a 6-3 double play. Now it's 1 on, 1 out for Ramirez. Another base hit. Ramirez goes the opposite way. Garciaparra holds at second. 2 on, 1 out.
Red Sox perhaps remembering last night when the Yankees scored 4 in the 5th inning to take the lead 5-4 and trying to tack on to their 4-0 lead. You used an appropriate term earlier, Joe, calling this offense relentless. I think it's the best way to describe the Boston offense this year.
Top to bottom, they can get you from any spot in their order, and the Yankees and Mel Stottlemyre are aware of that as he calls the bullpen, and there'll be more action for the Yankees out beyond that wall in left center field. David Ortiz now with 2 on and 1 out. Ball 1. Ortiz is lined to center and grounded out to first. Yesterday came up with a big 2-run single the opposite way. Had a 3 RBI day in the 9-6 Boston win. Ortiz tried to check his swing. He did. It's 2-0.
One of the few times that Messina would ask for a home plate umpire to check with the third base umpire, Darrell Cousins. It looked from that half swing that he did not go around.
Garciaparra, Ramirez. 1 out and a 2-0 pitch. Big rip by Ortiz. The ball was in on him. It's 2-1. Kevin Millar, who this past offseason was initially part of the Florida Marlins. They tried to sell over to Japan. Got into some issues with a contract, and he ended up making his way to the Red Sox when they showed interest as Ortiz fouls it back and out of play. And if you want to look for a guy that's helped to change the attitude with the Boston Red Sox, Millar is right at the front of the pack, along with the guy at the plate, David Ortiz. 2 on with 1 out, and Ortiz strikes out. 2 away.
After coming inside 2 times, the split finger fastball gets David Ortiz.
Kevin Millar in the 4th inning. Went after the first pitch from Clemens. And the home run, a look at it in mega slow-mo.
Full extension.
Able to lay off that pitch. Ball 1. The Boston Red Sox have won 10 American League pennants. The last one coming in 1986. That led to more heartbreak in the World Series against the Mets. Pedro Martinez trying to make sure these Red Sox have a date on Saturday night at Fenway Park against the Florida Marlins. It's 4-0 here in the top of the 5th. 2 on, 2 out. On the outside corner, 1-1.
In that '86 World Series, Roger Clemens started Game 6. He came out after 7 innings, telling John McNamara, the manager of the Red Sox at the time, that he had had enough. A paper cut on the middle finger. And I said on Saturday night that Clemens had always said that he wanted to stay in the game. Not so, said McNamara.
Strike 2 on Millar.
I talked to John McNamara today, and 17 years after managing the Red Sox, he stuck to his story that he thought Clemens should have stayed in the game.
Clemens started this game and made it into the 4th. Left with a score 4-0. It's still 4-0 as Millar takes inside 2-2. Jeter to his left, gets it, thought about flipping it for the out, but goes across to first. 2 hits, 2 left. Red Sox have stranded 5. Halfway through game number 7. Bottom of the 5th, 4-0 Boston. Best view of tonight's game is from the Hood Lightship. Hood Dairy supports children's hospitals throughout New England in partnership with the Boston Red Sox. As this ball is hit high and deep to right center. Off the bat of Giambi and gone. It's a 3-run game. Giambi batting in the 7 spot goes deep, and the Yankees are on the board in game 7. Nobody on or out. Enrique Wilson shoots one foul down the right side as his bat shatters in his hands.
If Kevin Millar went up there looking for a fastball to homer on, and he did, Jason Giambi went up looking for the changeup. He got it and puts the Yankees on the board.
One ball, one strike. The home run by Giambi has awakened this crowd. Will it get the Yankee bats going as Enrique Wilson flies one to left? Easy for Manny Ramirez. 1 out. Pedro Martinez had gone 31 consecutive postseason innings without allowing a home run until Derek Jeter went deep in the third inning of Game 3, and now here tonight, another slow look as Giambi waited on that changeup from Pedro Martinez. One out. Here's Karim Garcia. On the inside corner. There's Garcia, who is right on top of the plate. He isn't backing off. And Varitek and Pedro Martinez aren't backing off. They set up inside and got a strike in there. One and one. Strike two.
Along with a lot of other things, another remarkable thing about Pedro Martinez is how few home runs he gives up. Only 7 this year in 194 innings.
2 in this series with the Yankees. Varitek almost standing as that pitch is brought home. 2 out as Martinez gets his 5th strikeout.
You can see Varitek straddling home plate almost. That was a great sequence to Karim Garcia. Fastball inside, and after missing with a fastball, the changeup, and then he got him on a high fastball for the 5th strikeout in this game.
Ball 1 to Soriano. The Yankees came into this game hitting .218 in this ALCS. They hit .271 as a team during the regular season. A big part of the Yankees' troubles at the plate, the bullpen work, which has allowed only a 173 average and a 1.17 ERA for the Boston Red Sox. And you can bet that that bullpen for Boston will be a part of this Game 7 before it's finished. 2 out, bases empty, a ball and 2 strikes on Soriano. Up to get it, and the foul straight back. With 2 out, Soriano lays off. It's 2-2.
You'd be hard-pressed to see a pitcher combine the feel of pitching with the knowledge of hitting any more than Pedro Martinez. Those 2 things make him several steps above the normal pitcher.
That's on the inside corner to end the inning. That delayed strike 3 call by McClelland surprises Soriano and this crowd at Yankee Stadium. This woke them up for a moment. The home run by Giambi. The Yankees are on the board, but after 5, trailed by 3. Mike Messina relieved in the 4th. Got around 2 hits in the 5th. And starts Trot Nixon with strike 1. It'll be Nixon, Miller, and Varitek, the bottom 3, for the Red Sox here in the 6th. Up 4-1 in Game 7. The World Series will start on Saturday night, either at Fenway or here at Yankee Stadium. No balls, 2 strikes. The Red Sox came in here yesterday and with a matchup of Andy Pettitte against John Burkett and a slew of relievers out of each bullpen, came away with a 9-6 win to force Game 7. And as the scoreboard reads 10:01, here we are in the top of the 6th inning with the Red Sox up 4-1. Nixon went one away.
Second strikeout for Mike Messina. It looked like a split finger fastball down out of the strike zone. Most swinging strikeouts at splitters are on balls out of the strike zone.
Bill Miller now with one out, nobody on. Miller singled as part of a hit and run back in the fourth inning. That prompted the pitching change. Clemens was finished and Messina came in to bail the Yankees out of further trouble. Strike one on Miller. On the corner, it's 0-2. The Red Sox this season are 4-0 in October when facing elimination. It took 3 in a row to get past the Oakland A's. They were backed up yesterday, down 3 games to 2 here at Yankee Stadium and won 9-6. Lead game 7. The 0-2 pitch, ball 1. In the bottom of this inning, it'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for New York. That means Johnson, Jeter, and Bernie Williams. Two and 2 on Miller. Joe Torre's been around since 1996 managing these Yankees. 6 times they've been in the ALCS, and this is the first time they've been pushed to a game 7. Left side, Enrique Wilson. 2 out.
See how that ball tailed into the runner again? His second chance tonight. The first one went for an error and an unearned run scored. Watch how Wilson drops down. Fine play to come up with the ball. He drops down with that unusual throw, and it tails into the runner again. This time Johnson comes up with it.
Now it's Varitek who's doubled and struck out. Ball 1. On the inside corner, a ball and a strike. They get creative here at Yankee Stadium. And Don Zimmer has never looked so good. Varitek now set up at a ball and 2 strikes. Two hops to Soriano. What a job Messina's done so far for the Yankees out of the bullpen. What a job Pedro Martinez has done on the mound for the Red Sox. Bottom of the 6th inning. 4-1 Boston. Beautiful night in New York. The temperature has gone up from yesterday. The wind has died down. And Pedro Martinez misses. with ball one outside to Nick Johnson. Johnson, Jeter, and Bernie Williams. In for a strike. Yesterday the wind was such a factor, and it definitely aided a couple of balls hit by the Red Sox in the top of the seventh. The inning where they got 3 and took the lead for good. Up and away, 2-1. A new look to this Yankee lineup with Johnson batting second, Jeter hitting third, and Giambi down in the 7th spot. Millar gets a big hop, comes up for him on the backhand, and the flip for the out. Soriano's 0 for 3, Johnson's 0 for 2, Jeter is 0 for 2 as he walks in. The in-game box score for the Yankees brought to you by AT&T. After the top 3, you see a hit by Williams, Matsui with a double, and then at the bottom end, Giambi hitting 7th. The DH hit a changeup out of the park, leading off the bottom of the 5th for the only run for New York. Here's Jeter. Outside for ball one.
I think that's a luxury Joe has with his Yankee lineup. You've got so many of these hitters that are good hitters and can hit at different parts of the order. So that's a luxury for him. If he wants to mix it up, he's got a lot of guys that can hit in different spots and do the job.
A 1-0 pitch is fouled out of play into the upper deck. 1 ball, 1 strike. But it is a difference between these two managers. Grady Little stayed with an order that wasn't working, at least producing a ton of hits and runs early in this series. They finally broke free yesterday, and Joe Torre moving pieces all around, and tonight 1 run on 3 hits against Martinez. A 1-1. 1-2.
Well, I think Grady went with pretty much the same lineup all year, whereas during the course of the season, Joe had changed his lineup up quite a bit. He had Bernie hitting second for a while, Bernie hitting 6th for a while. We all know the past 3 or 4 years, Bernie's been in that 4 hole. But it's something that he didn't just change in the postseason. He's done it throughout the course of the year, and I think that's the difference.
With a count 1-2. Jeter takes it just outside, 2-2.
The reason Torre had to change, because change was the MO of the Yankees all year. 20 different relievers, outfielders, to and fro. The Mondesi trade, David DeLucci coming over, Kareem Garcia.
Jeter strikes out, and that's strikeout number 7 for Pedro Martinez. Saturday, the Fall Classic returns to Fox at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, when the winner of this game hosts Florida in Game 1 of the World Series. Sports' biggest month of the year continues Saturday only on Fox. You mentioned the different relievers, Tim. Those different relievers and guys that were added literally down the stretch for this Yankee team and their bullpen. Guys like Heredia, Gabe White, reacquiring Jeff Nelson. Contreras used in the bullpen down the stretch. At times during the season he was a starter. Jeff Weaver was a starter for most of the season. Now he's in the bullpen. The only guy that was out there at the start of the season is, of course, Mariano Rivera. Otherwise, changing parts all year, and it continued right up to the postseason. Bernie Williams flips one into right. Trot Nixon waits for it. And the Yankees 2, 3, and 4 hitters go in order. Pedro Martinez doing his thing, working his stuff. After 6 at Yankee Stadium, still 4-1. Back after this from your local Fox station. Felix Heredia comes into the action and throws a fastball for a strike over the outside corner. Here's another example of a guy who was added late, claimed off waivers from Cincinnati at the end of August. Another strike. It's 0-2. The one left-hander the Yankees had in their bullpen all season, not even active for this series. That's Hammond. It's Jeff Nelson getting loose for New York. Damon stays up there.
Both teams will empty their holster for this game. Johnny Damon with only 1 RBI. 1. And it was a game winner last night with the bases loaded. A walk on 4 pitches from Felix Heredia. And the Red Sox added the 2-run home run by Nixon, and that was it.
The 0-2. Damon up there battling, trying to find a mistake by Heredia. After Damon, it's Walker and then Garciaparra. Damon strikes out, 1 away.
Felix gets Damon with the fastball. That shot of Trot Nixon, the 2-run home run that capped it last night and that started it against Clemens tonight.
He went deep in the second, then an unearned run scored on a throwing error by Enrique Wilson. Another run came in the 4th inning with Millard taking the first pitch out to left. 1 out. Here's Walker. Strike 1. Right-handed bats to follow, so this could be it for Heredia with the lefty Walker at the plate. One and one. Walker pops it up. Enrique Wilson in foul ground pulls in out number 2. Our Sprint virtual manager question was, who matches up better with the Marlins, the Yankees or the Red Sox? And your answer, 63% the Red Sox. And again, from the other side, the other perspective, the Florida Marlins, with the way they took care of the Chicago Cubs, have to be saying, whoever it is, bring them on. Joe Torre's going to bring on Jeff Nelson here in the 7th inning with 2 out, nobody on, and Garciaparra coming up. Good night to be in a blimp, and the best view of tonight's game is from the Hood Lightship. Hood Dairy supports children's hospitals throughout New England in partnership with the Boston Red Sox. It's one more reason you can feel good about Hood. 2 out, nobody on, and after the pitching change, a matchup of Jeff Nelson, who has that bloated ERA in this postseason, against Nomar Garciaparra. Nelson allowed a run yesterday in an inning and a third. Joe Torre yesterday, when Andy Pettitte could go only 5, brought in Jose Contreras, hoping to get 3 innings out of Contreras. Got only an inning and a third. And then the procession out of the bullpen for the Yankees began with Heredia, Nelson, Gabe White. And the Red Sox came up with a 9-6 win. The 1-1.
Three sliders in a row from Nelson.
Two on Garciaparra for the Yankees in the bottom of the inning. Matsui, Posada, and Giambi against Pedro Martinez, who has been able to keep his pitch count under control. Garciaparra strikes out. It is time to stretch. Pedro Martinez came to town and came to this stadium. Vilified in this city for what happened in Game 3 on Saturday at Fenway Park. Well, what has he done here this evening? Game 7 with a chance to carry his Red Sox to the World Series. He's thrown 79 pitches. He is through 6 innings. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Game 7. A trip to the World Series on the line. Martinez and the Red Sox lead the Yankees 4-1. A true champion, and he left here in the 4th inning. Mike Messina did a terrific job picking up. Heredia and Nelson got through the top of this 7th. But the story, the matchup between Pedro Martinez and Roger Clemens coming in. And clearly Pedro Martinez has had the better of this duel. 6 innings, only 3 hits. The home run by Giambi. He struck out 7. His pitch count 79. And he will work the bottom of this 7th inning with Matsui, Posada, Giambi coming up, and David Wells gets loose for the Yankees in their bullpen. The winner of this game moves on to the World Series on Saturday night.
Joe, you and I and Brett were talking about this the other night, about whether Pedro Martinez, if he retired, would he go to the Hall of Fame? After looking at that right there, Sandy Koufax, Pedro Martinez, their career averages, the answer is a definitive yes.
You could also slide Clemens' picture next to Koufax and talk about a guy who went out on top. Koufax, who left with an arthritic pitching elbow, as Matsui hits the first pitch to second. Picked up by Walker. Wide throw, but out. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th inning. Koufax left as a 30-year-old off a 27-9 season with a 1.79 ERA. Now you're talking about a 41-year-old in Roger Clemens, but a guy who still clearly is one of the game's more dominant right-handers. And when this season comes to a close, he has said he will spend time with the family and not come back to Major League Baseball. Here's Posada with 1 out, nobody on. Posada takes a pitch high. Ball 1. Let's check in with Kenny Albert.
Joe, God bless America, take me out to the ball game. A 5-minute delay. Opposing pitchers have been forced to wait longer than usual during the 7th inning stretch of Yankee home playoff games. And at the bottom of the 7th, Yankees have scored 7 runs, most in any inning.
It was Ron Gardenhire of the Minnesota Twins who talked about that delay. And a game that we did here, game 2 of that division series. And a matchup of Brad Radke and Andy Pettitte. Gardenhire was criticized by George Steinbrenner for making the comments. And what Gardenhire was saying was, while it is a gorgeous rendition of God Bless America, the delay had an effect on his pitcher Radke, who was back out there to work the bottom of the 7th inning. So far, Pedro Martinez is taking care of Matsui, and he's 1-2 on Posada. Just low, 2-2. Now 3-2.
Only 4 base runners for the Yankees through 6 1/3.
Posada into right center field. Damon on the move. 2 out. Hard hit, knuckling, and it died in right center field for the 2nd out in the 7th.
When you have a 3-run lead, obviously Martinez, a wily one, making Posada hit the fastball.
With the bases empty, here's Giambi. Inside for ball one. Off the hands, jammed Giambi. It's 1-1. Jason's dad in the crowd, working with him before yesterday's game. He's hit 2 home runs, but moved down to the number 7 spot by Joe Torre before this game 7. A 1-1. Strike 2.
Do the Florida Marlins feast on lobster bisque, scrod, popovers, or 7th Avenue deli pastrami?
They're waiting in the airport to figure out if they're going to end up in Boston for game 1 on Saturday night or here in New York. A 1-2 pitch. Fastball. But Giambi's able to lay off. It's 2-2. Brian Cashman, the general manager of the New York Yankees. Pedro Martinez has struck out 7, walked 1. Into right center field. Damon back at the track, at the wall. It is gone for another Giambi home run. It's 4-2 in the 7th.
Change up the first time, a fastball the second time. About 5 minutes before game time, Brett Boone looked at me and said, I would imagine Jason Giambi's pretty upset. Right or wrong?
You know, I don't know how many times Jason's been out of the 3 or the 4 hole. I think he understands, and at this stage, you're in the postseason, you're worried about one thing, getting to that next step, and that's the World Series. But
ground ball, that's a fair ball. What a play by Millar, but can't get to the bag. The inning continues.
That maybe scored a base hit because the error came in the loose footing of Millar. He should have shuffled the ball off to Martinez. That was the only chance he had to get the out. Wilson's too fast.
Martinez was there. Millar tried to take it to the bag, lost his footing, and it's a base hit to bring in Garcia. And the Yankees have the tying run at the plate here in the bottom of the 7th. Another hit. Tying runs are on in the 7th for New York.
Three hits in a row here in the 7th inning. Clean base hit right there. Here comes Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, out to talk to Pedro. Thinking about that Kevin Millar play, you rarely see a first baseman who has to make such an awkward throw to a pitcher covering. Almost going back across his body. That was the key play in this ball game, or in this inning at least. Here it is one more time. Watch Millar go to his left. Now, how many times do you see a first baseman feed to a pitcher from foul territory? He tried to get his footing and his balance, but slipped. And Wilson had a hit.
Followed by a hit by Garcia. And now it's Soriano, who has struck out 3 times tonight. With runners at first and second. 4-2 Boston, bottom of the 7th. Ball 1 gets a reaction from this Yankee Stadium crowd. That's foul. Rivera getting loose for the Yankees in their pen. Martinez still throwing hard. It's 1-2.
Having Soriano totally befuddled thus far.
.38 home runs during the regular season. None so far in the postseason for Soriano. Writes it off. 94. That's as hard as Pedro Martinez has thrown all night.
Again, Veritek standing up for the target.
.98 pitches on the night for Pedro Martinez. Two and 2. 95 from Pedro Martinez. First couple of innings, he was throwing a fastball up there at 88, 89. Timlin getting loose and ready for the Red Sox. For the 4th time tonight, Soriano has struck out. Pedro Martinez gives up the home run to Giambi, but strands 2. We go to the 8th inning of Game 7. It's now 4-2 Boston. It is the 8th inning of Game 7. It's 4-2 Red Sox over the Yankees. Nelson back to work. And Manny Ramirez takes the ball. Talk about the presence and the impact of Garciaparra. While they met on the mound, Garciaparra winked to Pedro Martinez to calm him down. The strikeout followed, and then a hug in the dugout. From the Boston shortstop to tonight's Red Sox starting pitcher, Pedro Martinez. 2-0 from Nelson to Manny Ramirez.
A wink and a hug. That's what we all need, Joe.
Well, that's what Pedro Martinez got from Garciaparra, who doesn't play that media game. He's not a guy that's going to give you the cute quote.
Neither does.
Pedro Martinez certainly doesn't. But you cannot emphasize enough what Garciaparra means in this lineup. His spot in the number 3 position, the batting order, what he does defensively. He showed something there with his approach with Pedro Martinez when it got sticky in the bottom of the 7th. There's a strike, and it's 3-1 on Manny Ramirez.
When the Red Sox lost to the Yankees in the 1999 ALCS, it was Nomar Garciaparra after the loss, getting up and waving the towel to the Boston faithful.
Tough play for Enrique Wilson. Good play for the out. First out here in the 8th. Now David Ortiz, and this crowd will get a kick out of seeing David Wells come out of the bullpen. 3 of the starters for the Yankees appearing in this game. First Clemens, then Messina, and as Nelson is gone, David Wells is coming out of the pen. We're in the top of the 8th inning, 1 out, and it's David Wells out of the bullpen for New York, dealing with David Ortiz, Kevin Millar to follow. 2 starts, 2 wins for Wells as Ortiz gets into one to right. This one is at the wall and gone. David Ortiz greets David Wells with a first pitch home run to right. It's 5-2.
A hanging curveball right around the belly button. Paul Wanger used to say hitters have to belly button the ball. Well, that's what Ortiz does right here. A little lower than the belly button. Crank to right.
3rd home run of the night by Boston. And for David Ortiz, his 2nd of the postseason. Jeter to his right, surrounds it, and throws to get Millar. 2 out. David Ortiz took David Wells deep twice in a game here the 4th of July. In that game, David Wells allowed 5 Red Sox home runs. Again, Ortiz got him twice, and he gets him here tonight in Game 7. This is the 26th meeting between these 2 teams this season. And as the Boston dugout reacts, of the 25 played so far, the Yankees have won 13, the Red Sox 12. Wells, who has a lot of experience out of the bullpen early in his career in Toronto, made 1 relief appearance this season. With 2 out, nobody on, it's 0-2 on Trot Nixon. Ball 1. Nixon homered for the 4th time in his career against Roger Clemens back in the 2nd. A 2-run shot to start the scoring. This one is straight up the chute. Shallow center field for Jeter. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. A home run by David Ortiz gives Martinez that run back. He heads back to work. It's 5-2 Boston. Ball. First up, Nick Johnson. Bottom of the 8th, 5-2 Boston, ball 1.
Master and commander has starred Pedro Martinez tonight.
1 ball, no strikes. Johnson, Jeter, and Bernie Williams. Wide, it's 2-0. There is action for the Red Sox in their bullpen in case Martinez stumbles. We're in the 8th, and Boston leads by 3. 2 balls and a strike. Timlin and Embry. High, it's 3-1.
Nick Johnson took the 2-0 pitch. We'll see if he's taking 3-1.
Three and two. The Boston Globe today called this game the biggest game in one of sports' greatest rivalries. Everybody looking at Pedro Martinez and how he would respond after what happened on Saturday afternoon in Game 3. Some saying Pedro Martinez still had to have that one game, that highlight game in his career. Johnson pops up. Garciaparra waits for it. 1 out in the 8th. The papers here, one of the headlines had a picture of Pedro Martinez after Saturday's Game 3, and they called him Fenway Punk. They were all waiting here at Yankee Stadium for him to get here, to step on the field, to warm up. He was not intimidated one bit. Regarded by many as the greatest pitcher in the game today, the most dangerous, the most dominant. And with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning, he works to Derek Jeter. With the Red Sox 5 defensive outs away from heading to the World Series. Jeter. Jeter 0 for 3 in this game. He's fouled out, grounded out, struck out. Strike 2. Jeter flies into right, Nixon back. On the run, it's over his head. Jeter will dig for second and hold there with a double. Trot Nixon did not read that ball perfectly off the bat and could not recover to get the out.
He went to his right first, and then the ball tailed behind him.
Parents of Derek Jeter, who are in this spot year after year in October. And Jeter trying to get something going in the bottom of the 8th with 1 out. Here's Bernie Williams, 1 out of 3. On the inside corner, strike 1.
When the Yankees have runners on, Pedro throws the hardest. 95, a couple of pitches the last inning with runners on at first and second. Now 92 to Williams on the inside corner.
Time called. It's Williams now, Matsui, the number 5 hitter, on deck. That's wide, a ball and a strike. 11 o'clock straight up on the scoreboard here at Yankee Stadium. It's Game 7. The Red Sox got 3 runs in the second. behind the pitching of Pedro Martinez. They lead it 5-2 in the bottom of the 8th. The Yankees aren't finished yet. 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. With Matsui, the left-handed hitting outfielder, on deck. Alan Embry, the lefty, is getting ready in the bullpen for the Red Sox.
And you get the feeling that he will be the pitcher against Matsui one way or the other.
That's foul. 114 pitches on the night for Pedro Martinez. The Yankees looking for more of that October magic, which they have almost come to expect around here under Joe Torre. The 2-2 into center field. Damon will play it on a hop. Jeter will come to the plate. It's a 2-run game. Grady Little out of the dugout. With 115 pitches on the night, Grady Little is going to stick with his starter.
He gave Martinez the chance to say yay or nay. He said yes.
Tying run at the plate for New York. It's Hideki Matsui. 1 out of 3 with a double tonight. Strike 1. Strike 2. Bernie Williams will dig. It's a ground rule double. It's second and third as the Red Sox catch a break as that ball hops out of play. But the tying runs are at second and third with 1 out here in the 8th.
The way I see this is the most blatant situation for a second guess in this series. Whether to bring Embry in to pitch to Matsui or not. If you're not going to bring him in against Matsui, when are you going to make that move? On an 0-2 pitch, Matsui, who had doubled in Game 3 off Pedro, doubles again.
I think it's a case where Grady goes out to Pedro Martinez, his #1 guy, and because of the respect that he has earned, gave him the option.
And he stays out for Posada. Second and third, 1 out, bottom of the 8th, a run already home. Ball 1.
Tim, remember those ghosts we were talking about?
119 pitches. The Yankees making noise, and these fans lining it up in the bottom of the 8th. A breaking ball for a strike. Joe Torre talked about moving Jason Giambi to number 7 in the order. He said usually when you do that, the guy that you move to try to help out invariably comes up in a spot to tie or win a game. He's on deck. Right now it's Posada. Second and third, 1 out. 2-1.
Jason Giambi struck out with runners on at second and third last night against Alan Embry. So a place to put Posada if Pedro elects to do that.
Two and 2.
Curveball in a fastball situation.
Flare into center field. Out as Walker won't get it. The base running of Matsui. He comes home. Nobody covers second. Tie game. Embry takes over the left-hander. He struck out Giambi with runners at second and third and 1 out in yesterday's game. Pedro Martinez will sit and watch. It's a 5-5 game and time is called at the plate. 123 pitches on the night. The 4th most for Pedro Martinez this season. Grady Little stayed with him. It's a tied game in the 8th inning. Giambi's already homered twice tonight, strike 1.
And Joe, you picked up on it. Not only the Posada hit on a flare to center field, scoring 2. Good read by Matsui. But the Red Sox evacuated second base, allowing Posada to be there without a play. Shortstop, second baseman were out. The pitcher was backing up home, and the first baseman, Kevin Millar, was the cutoff man.
One ball, one strike. Go-ahead run at second with 1 out. Mariano Rivera in the bullpen for the Yankees. Giambi breaks his back. Damon comes on for the second out of the inning. Well, you said it at the time with Bernie Williams at the plate. Jeter was on at second. Williams, an RBI base hit. Embry was ready in the bullpen for Hideki Matsui. He stayed in the bullpen. Pedro Martinez at the end of a long night. And he stayed in to give up the double to Matsui, the 2-run double, and it's ruled a double by Posada, who took second when nobody was there defending for the Red Sox. Now Embry comes in, gets Giambi on a fly ball to center, with Enrique Wilson at the plate. And the go-ahead run at second, 2 out, a meeting on the mound with Grady Little, Alan Embry, and Jason Varitek.
You know that Grady Little, as he's making the move right here, you know that Pedro Martinez said, I want to stay in the game. Sometimes the manager has to overrule the superstar. In that case, he didn't. Embry in too late.
Embry gets 1 out. Another pitching change. And what it does for the Yankees in Joe Torre is get Enrique Wilson out of the lineup. He was coming to the plate to face the left-hander Embry. And now with Timlin on the mound, Ruben Sierra will come off the bench, as the Yankees may be a hit away from taking the lead.
And the only reason Enrique Wilson was in the game was to face Pedro Martinez. So now you have the more experienced, the more powerful Ruben Sierra, instead of Embry pitching to Enrique Wilson. Sierra homered in a pinch hitting appearance at Fenway Park on Sunday.
It's been a long bottom of the 8th inning. Pedro Martinez starting the inning with a pop-up by Johnson. Jeter doubles into right. The hit by Williams, the double by Hideki Matsui. The flare by Posada falling in. Matsui read it right off the bat, scored. Posada down to second. Now there with 2 out. Pedro Martinez has left it up to the bullpen. Embry got Giambi on a fly ball to center. And with Ruben Sierra coming up, the Red Sox are going to walk Sierra with Kareem Garcia on deck.
In Game 7 of the 2001 World Series, in the 9th inning, Luis Gonzalez beat the Yankees and won the World Series on a flare to center field with the infield drawn in. And tonight, in Game 7, 2 years later, the Yankees have tied it on a flare to center by Posada.
This will put 2 on with 2 out and bring Kareem Garcia to the plate. Garcia, the batter who was hit by Pedro Martinez in that 4th inning, Game 3 on Saturday. Tonight against Martinez, 1 out of 3.
Tim, you talked about Luis Gonzalez and his heroics in the 2001 World Series. How did the Arizona Diamondbacks acquire Luis Gonzalez from the Detroit Tigers in exchange for the batter, Kareem Garcia?
The opportunity of a lifetime for Garcia, as Sierra is going to be lifted for a pinch runner. That's Aaron Boone. He's going to have to come into the game anyway to play third base. Here's Kareem Garcia, who started the season in Buffalo at AAA for Cleveland, traded here to the Yankees, batting in the 8th inning with 2 on, 2 out. Game 7, a 5-5 score. Ball 1. Soriano on deck. Bases loaded with 2 out. The 9th man to bat in this 8th inning is Alfonso Soriano, who has struck out 4 times tonight. That was against Martinez. In a row out of the strike zone from Timlin, and here comes Dave Wallace, the pitching coach. Timlin came into this action having gone 8 1/3 innings in this postseason. No runs, 1 hit.
Hey, Dave Wallace is out there to tell Timlin to take a deep breath.
Willie Randolph with last-second instructions for Soriano, who's back to the plate with a 1-0 count.
That's an interesting conversation because Soriano is not a guy who takes a lot. I wonder if Joe Torre gave him the take sign after 5 balls in a row by Timlin.
One ball, one strike.
He did.
Looks like he did. It's tough when you're having a rough night like that. You got 4 strikeouts saying, I can't swing at a strike. I want to hit.
1 ball, 1 strike. Bases loaded, 2 out. Tie game in the 8th. Off the mound to Walker. What a play by Todd Walker. That thing went up the ramp of the mound, and Walker stayed with it. The force out at second, and the Yankees leave the bases loaded. Walker also had to deal with the umpire. And after all that, a 3-run 8th inning. We go to the 9th, game 7, tied. And now in a tie game, the Yankees bring in Mariano Rivera
for 2 innings.
At least.
The Yankees have used Clemens, Messina, Heredia, Nelson, Wells. Aaron Boone stays in, plays third base. And the Yankees have Rivera, who has a postseason record 29 saves and a postseason ERA of 0.81. The last time Rivera was on the mound for the Yankees in a game 7 was in the World Series in Arizona. The hit by Gonzalez. And the victory in the series for the Diamondbacks. Miller, Varitek, and Johnny Damon, the hitters for the Red Sox. Strike 1. One ball, one strike. Miller grounds to the right side. Soriano flips to the out. And now it's Varitek. The reliable, durable, everyday catcher for the Boston Red Sox. He's doubled in this game. He has hit 4 home runs this postseason. Ball 1. Big rip by Varitek, who was trying to untie it. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
That is 5 inside targets by Posada for Rivera. No other pitcher in baseball in a tie game in the 9th inning would get an inside target 5 pitches in a row. I think it's 6.
And you can see Varitek almost stepping in the bucket on that pitch. It's 2-1.
Yeah, you try to speed it up. You think by stepping away toward the first baseline is going to get the bat head through the strike zone quicker. Usually it doesn't.
Now it's 3-1 with Johnny Damon on deck. Three and two. To the right side and through. Nick Johnson was almost literally on the line and had no chance to get to that ball to his right. It's a 1-out single for Varitek.
Nick Johnson was on the line against David Ortiz in game 4, and he made a catch in foul territory. Make that game 2 here at Yankee Stadium. So with Rivera throwing inside fastballs, you have to guard the line in that situation to prevent the double. Now Damian Jackson in the run for Varitek.
Johnny Damon at the plate. Go ahead run at first with 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Strike 1. Rivera has become almost robotic with the way he puts up scoreless innings in the postseason. The Red Sox have scored a run against Rivera in this series, and they try to do it here in the 9th inning in Game 7. Damon lays off the high delivery. 1 ball, 1 strike. In his postseason career, 2 blown saves. 1 came at Cleveland. The last one came in Phoenix. Jackson started and stopped. Damon went after it. It's 1-2.
What that does, it makes the middle infielders commit. Derek Jeter towards second. Also Soriano. And Posada coming up too quickly. Watch the fake break by Jackson and what it does to the middle infielders. Jeter in particular.
I think he was going. He just didn't get a good jump.
Damon takes ball 2.
A lot of times after Rivera has gone into left-handers, he tries the backdoor cutter. Posada sets up outside, and it just misses.
Damian Jackson during the regular season stole 16 bases, was caught 8 times. There he goes. Damon grounds it foul.
Not that good a jump by Damian Jackson. But that's why Nick Johnson was guarding the line. Push the ball to the fat part of the field, give up the single, and make them steal a base to get to second base. That's the theory behind it.
The 2-2. Chopper to Boone. Across the diamond for the out. Down to second to go ahead run. 2 out with Todd Walker coming up. A visit to the mound from Jorge Posada with Todd Walker digging in. 5-5 in the top of the 9th inning. The winner of this game will meet the Marlins on Saturday night, either in Boston or here in New York for Game 1 of the World Series. The Red Sox and Pedro Martinez had a lead going into the bottom of the 8th, even with 1 out and nobody on in the bottom of the 8th inning. But the Yankees came up with 3 to tie it.
Matsui shallow in left field, and that's where he should be. The reason for that, a lot of left-handed batters break their bats and hit little flares into this area right in here. That's why the off-fielder, Matsui in this particular case, plays a little more shallow than he would on most pitches.
Todd Walker tripled off Rivera in Game 5. He takes in at the knees, 1-1. Garciaparra on deck. Good speed at second and Damian Jackson as the Red Sox try to reclaim the lead. One and 2 on Walker. Walker stays alive. 96 from Mariano Rivera. The Yankees in the bottom of this 9th inning will have Johnson, Jeter, and Bernie Williams. Todd Walker floats one, caught by Soriano. A stutter step. Soriano recovered and grabbed it for the final out of the top of the 9th. The reaction by Rivera when that ball left the bat, it looked like it had a chance to fall in. But Soriano was there waiting for it. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning of game number 7. Series tied. Game 7 is tied. Mariano Rivera got the final out on this from Todd Walker.
Seemed like Rivera timed his jump with the jump of Soriano.
Now it's Wakefield getting loose with Timlin back into the game. And the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for New York. A run here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And they'll go to the World Series to take on the Marlins starting on Saturday night. Doug Mirabelli comes into the game to take over behind the plate as the Red Sox ran for Veritek in the top of this ninth. Nick Johnson off the end of the bat, third base side, foul ground. Strike one. Johnson hitless in 3 at-bats tonight. 6 out of 25 in this ALCS. Poured in for a strike, 93 miles per hour. It's 0-2. Ball one.
Looking down at Bill Miller, the third baseman. If you're going to guard a line with Nick Johnson hitting with 2 strikes, you'd prefer to do it at third base and not first base, because with 2 strikes, he's more apt to go the other way. Trying to play the percentages, the probabilities. Johnson, a good 2-strike hitter, the other way.
Miller well off the line as Johnson hits that off his foot. That's a foul ball. And the count's still 1-2.
Right off the right ankle.
Three doubles for the Yankees in the 8th inning. Along with a single, produced 3 runs and tied this game at 5. 2-2. Johnson pops it up. Garciaparra out. 1 away. And now Derek Jeter will walk to the plate. Jeter started that 3-run rally with a double that got over the head of Trot Nixon and right. Jeter came into this game with a .365 career postseason batting average here at Yankee Stadium. 1 out of 4 with a double and a run scored this evening. Just inside for ball 1.
The Red Sox must have a different scouting report on Derek Jeter than most American League teams. Most American League teams would have the first baseman on the line now because Jeter hits the ball to right often. He did the last time up.
2-0.
Joe, you and I have commented on that several times this year following the Red Sox to Yankees contest. Now Kevin Millar playing way off the line with the hard-throwing Timlin. Jeter with an inclination to go to right.
On the outside corner, 2-1.
The only thing I can think of in this situation is they're going to pitch him inside. But Jeter can still take that inside pitch and keep it in the middle or to the other way.
Got the great inside-out swing.
Sneaks a peek over at third as he gets ready for a 2-1 pitch. He was sneaking a peek to see how deep Miller was. He was going to drop down a bunt, and it's a strike.
Boy, that is a great catch, Joe, and you're exactly right. That peek at third, Miller was back, and he mishandles the bat. The top hand came off the bat. How bizarre was that? Top hand comes off the bat in an attempt to bunt, and he takes the strike.
Now it's 2-2. Three and 2.
He wanted to bunt and lost control of the bat after that peek at third.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Jeter strikes out. Timlin got it by him. Timlin has gone 9 1/3 innings in this series. Has not allowed a run. Has allowed only 1 hit. And he's now struck out 11. With 2 out, Bernie Williams at the plate. Strike 1.
Here's that peek Joe Buck was talking about right before the 2-1 pitch.
No balls, 1 strike on Williams. The Red Sox, if they bat in the 10th, will have the heart of their lineup. One and 1. Matsui, his first year with the Yankees, classified as a rookie with a key double in that 3-run 8th. They got it off Pedro Martinez with Alan Embry standing in the bullpen. Hard hit, diving stop by Walker from a knee to end the 9th. Wow. Todd Walker made a tremendous play to end the 8th with the bases loaded. And then this to send Game 7 into the 10th. Why wouldn't we play more? This series tied, and as we go to the 10th, the big bat's coming up for Boston. It's 5-5.
Had that ball gotten by Todd Walker, it may have been a double into right center field. It was hit that hard, but Walker recovers and throws from his right knee to get Bernie Williams.
So now here in the 10th, Garciaparra first up. Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz will follow against Rivera. And a check swing foul. Garciaparra 1 hit tonight, 5 in the last 2 games. One ball, one strike. Good pitch and under the hands of Garciaparra, 1-2. Red Sox fans have got to be wondering if this is just another case of the Boston Red Sox getting to the edge and then coming back. They fell down 2-0 to the Oakland A's, won 3 in a row to get to the ALCS. They fell down 3-2 of the series, coming back here and won Game 6, 9-6. Garciaparra takes strike 3, and there's 1 out in the 10th.
No argument from Garciaparra. It was a high strike just above the waist. Looked like a cutter.
The only cutter he threw him that at bat. He went up, threw him sinker, 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 and then threw him a cutter.
When nobody could tie up right-handers like Rivera.
It's tough.
Here's Manny Ramirez with 1 out, nobody on. Ball 1 outside.
Last night we were talking about the resiliency of the Boston Red Sox coming back the way they did last night, and that wasn't the first time they'd done it. But I think you got to look at the Yankees tonight. Pedro Martinez on the mound with a 3-run lead, coming back the way they did. This has been unbelievable watching it.
5-5 in the 10th, Game 7. 2 balls, no strikes. Rivera during the season allowed in 70 2/3 innings 3 home runs. Ramirez waiting for a 2-0 pitch from Mariano Rivera. Ramirez tied up. He went. It's 2-1.
Ramirez goes too far on a ball that was inside. He tried to hold up, but clearly too far.
Shattered bat and a foul into the seats. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
What happens when you try to pull a cut fastball? We talked about it the other night. Ramirez, if he hits the ball hard, will probably hit it to the right side of the field.
A 2-2 from Rivera. Soriano. 2 out. In the bottom of the 10th, the Yankees will have Matsui, Posada, and Giambi. Here's David Ortiz, who has homered this evening, 1 out of 4. He took David Wells deep on the first pitch in the top of the 8th. After Wells came out of the bullpen, a hanger, and David Ortiz sent it out of here. The knuckleballer Tim Wakefield getting loose. Strike one. Last time up, Ortiz did this to Wells. That made it 5-2. The Yankees have had terrific relief work. Messina coming in the fourth inning with first and third, nobody out. With the Yankees already trailing 4-0 and got out of it. That's strike two on Ortiz. Down the left field line into the corner. Matsui will play it off the wall. Ortiz will be in at second with a double. Just stayed fair, just stayed in the park, and Ortiz with a 2-out double. The go-ahead run at second.
Posada setting up outside, and Ortiz going the other way. Probably thought he was at Fenway Park with a monster out there. He's peppered the monster all year long. And now doubles to left. A fine play by Matsui to make it close at second. Ortiz in there, and a pinch runner now for David Ortiz.
Fighting the right hand that feeds him is Mariano Rivera, and Gabe Kapler will come off the bench to pinch run. David Ortiz does not run well, and Kapler with an RBI chance for Millar at the plate carries the go-ahead run in his back pocket with 2 out in the 10th.
You rarely see any emotion out of Rivera. Perhaps thinking about throwing it inside instead of outside.
Strike one on Millar.
Posada sets up outside. Supposed to be a backdoor cutter. And just a terrific piece of hitting by David Ortiz.
Millar trying to deliver with 2 outs. One ball, one strike. Now Williamson joins Wakefield in the Red Sox bullpen in case Boston gets a run here in the 10th inning and takes the lead. That's up to Millar and Rivera. A pop-up. Jeter still tied as we go to the bottom of the 10th inning. Matsui, Posada, Giambi coming up. Back after this from your local Fox station. Tim Wakefield, the knuckleballer who has been so good in this series, takes over. It is midnight in the Bronx. We're in the bottom of the 10th inning, and Wakefield, this postseason, 2-1. But so far, he was the winner in game number 1 of this ALCS. And then came back in game number 4 and got the victory. He has been as valuable a member of the Red Sox as they've had in this series with the Yankees. And now with his catcher, Mirabelli, behind the plate. Matsui is at the plate. 5-5 game. Dangerous foul ball into the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike.
With the clock striking 12, only 44 hours until the World Series starts.
Either here in New York or at Fenway Park in Boston. A 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. The Florida Marlins still don't know where they're headed. Waiting around to see if they're coming here or going to Boston. 3 balls and a strike on Matsui. It took Wakefield the first inning to really settle in that Game 4 start when he turned in 7 outstanding innings. The first, Millard takes it, steps for the out.
Obviously, Wakefield does not have that luxury tonight.
Posada now.
The interesting thing, along with all the other interesting things, is that the Yankees have nobody warming up in their bullpen. Which means that unless they win it here, Mariano Rivera most likely will go out for the top of the 11th inning. The last time he worked more than 2 innings was April of 2000.
Posada, the one who tied it with that flare double into center field to score 2 in the 3-run 8th. The 1-0. Posada held up 2-0. Two and 1. I happened to talk to Wakefield before this game about the different umpires. The man behind the plate, Tim McClelland, is one that he likes, an umpire whose work he appreciates. So important when you're flipping that knuckler up there. This might drop. Damon on the run, 2 out. Playing deep. Sounded like another broken bat for Posada, and that's out number 2.
Talk about that area that Johnny Damon covers, and he has to. The corner outfielders, Trot Nixon and Manny Ramirez, caught the fewest balls than any other corner outfielders in the major leagues this year. So Damon has to cover a lot of ground.
Giambi takes a strike. 0 for 5 in this series against Wakefield is Giambi. You remember his first at bat in the 4th game of this set. A line drive double play hit to the first baseman. 1 ball, 1 strike. Giambi batting in the number 7 spot. He has already homered twice tonight. Shallow left, Manny Ramirez in, Miller out, and it's Ramirez. And it's the 11th inning now of Game 7. Nixon, Miller, and Mirabelli coming up for Boston. We're still tied in the Bronx, 5-5. Top of the 11th inning now, 5-5. Trot Nixon first up for Boston. Bill Miller and then Mirabelli. Nixon tonight has hit a 2-run homer, walked, struck out, popped up. Mariano Rivera out for a 3rd inning. First pitch swinging, that's strike 1, and Nixon had a pretty good cut at that pitch from Rivera. Nixon has hit some dramatic home runs for the Red Sox. Game 3 of the division series in extra innings against the A's for the first victory in that series for Boston. Last night in the 9th inning to give the Red Sox some breathing room. 0-2. This will be pitch number 40 for Mariano Rivera. Nixon trying to get something started for the Red Sox in the 11th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. One out. Miller coming up. This week it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, Brett Favre and the Packers trying to rebound from that heartbreaking loss. They take on Mark Bulger and the Rams. Then the Buccaneers try to win their second straight as they battle Terrell Owens and the 49ers or other regional action. Coverage begins noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. The biggest stories are in the NFC. The NFC is on Fox. At the plate, Miller. And a squirter up the middle. A lot of spin on it. Soriano makes the play. 2 out. And now it's Doug Mirabelli who took over behind the plate when the Red Sox had to pinch run for Varitek in the 9th inning with Damian Jackson.
The difference between the two pitchers right now, Wakefield is just like a starter. Rivera is a stopper. And in all probability, unless he gets a 1 or 2 pitch at bat, this would be his last inning.
Strike 1 on Mirabelli. The last time Mariano Rivera went 3 full innings was in September of '96. That was when John Wetland was the closer and eventual World Series MVP for the Yankees when they defeated Atlanta. And Rivera was his setup man. Mirabelli went. It's 0-2.
You got to start it early, so it's tough to hold up when the ball's not a strike.
That's who's left for the Yankees in their bullpen. Contreras, White, both pitched in yesterday's game. Weaver hasn't even warmed up in this series. Still 0-2 on the Boston catcher. The Yankees in the bottom of this 11th inning will have Boone, Garcia, and Soriano. Three shutout innings from Mariano Rivera sets up the bottom of the 11th in Game 7. Still tied 5-5. Mariano Rivera getting congratulations after 3 shutout innings. Now he's a cheerleader. Welcome to the booth, Joe Buck, Brett Boone, and Tim McCarver. And you're talking about 2 teams, guys, that are playing for the 26th time this season against one another. Only 1 win separates these 2 teams, and now here we are, bottom of the 11th inning in a 5-5 game. This is quite a night.
Clearly, time is not an ally of the Yankees either.
I'll tell you what, I've just enjoyed watching it.
I would imagine that's the sentiment throughout, although the Boston Red Sox and the fans through New England, they'll tell you they were 5 outs away in the 8th inning, leading by 3 as Boone hits it to deep left. That might send the Yankees to the World Series. Boone, a hero in Game 7.
You struggled so much throughout your postseason with the Yankees. What a time for your biggest hit.
Wow. I can't even talk. This is, the silver lining. It's unbelievable. I mean, Mo, so many heroes today, and I just happened to run into one. You got to be kidding me. It's awesome.
When you came over from the Cincinnati Reds, you talked about not having been in the postseason. Now you get a chance to go to the World Series. It's got to be a special feeling.
It's unbelievable. We're sitting over there tonight, and it wasn't looking good. And, bullpen came in and held them, and we just pecked away. And like Derek told me, the ghosts will show up eventually, and they did, man. This is stupid.
What were you thinking when it was 5-2 in the 8th? I mean, did you think that it was over?
No. I definitely definitely didn't think it was over because we were crawling a little bit. We were having better at bats. Pedro looked like maybe he was getting a little tired, so we knew anything was possible, but it didn't look good there for a minute.
Final question. Your brother Brett has been following you throughout this whole series. You going to celebrate with him tonight?
Yeah, you better stay and hang out with us a little bit after this one.